Hello, this is my video on the 3 career choices that I would like to pursue once I have got a degree in sports and exercise science. The first career that I'm interested in is sports therapy. A sports therapist main goal is the prevention of injury and rehabilitation of injury to make sure that someone can reach full function within physical fitness. And basically, I'm interested in this because I really am interested in the biology of people. I mean, I'm going throughout high school. I've always enjoyed learning about muscles, bones, ways to prevent injury, physiotherapy. I also love how I could get to work with sports people. Like, I could get to assess the fitness levels of players. I can learn new things about injuries, and I can learn about nutrition to help people get back to working fitness. Like, obviously, nutrition in sport is huge. For example, like drinking milk after breaking a bone can help calcium in the bones fix everything and help bones grow stronger. Also, protein can help in muscle growth and repair. Um, I love it also because you can also learn about the mental game, and you can help people out with their cognition in their particular sports. So, for example, say if a rugby player is struggling with throwing the ball in a line out due to negative thoughts, they can change those thoughts with therapy from a sports therapist. I love it because they're always working in part of a team as well. Like, if I could work for a team, I'd love to be a sports therapist because there is some pressure, but there's not as much pressure as if you were a sports player. And being part of a team, I've always loved. I mean, I love playing for people, and I love how you win and lose as a team. And to be part of a team as a sports therapist would be absolutely fantastic. You get help from a sports therapist in the gym, and I've always been interested in the gym. I've worked in a gym, and I've seen what it takes to be a sports therapist because my mate worked as a sports therapist. You get to wear sportswear most of the time. It's not like you're working in an office. You're always up on your feet, always helping people out. And you just don't know because it's also almost the unpredictability of the job. Like, for example, like an emergency aid, you could be called out at a certain time if someone's preparing for a big event and they've hurt themselves, and then you have to be called onto the scene to help. It's great motivation, and you get to learn lots, and that's why I'm interested in sports therapy. A personal thing that's happened to me where I've had to be in contact with a sports therapist is I tore my ACL, PCL, broke my fibula, tibia, and femur playing soccer back in England. I got double-footed at the knee, and everything just snapped. And my rehabilitation took a huge amount of time, and I was in contact with a sports therapist almost every 3 or 4 days trying to get my knee back to normal, and just getting to see how they work and how everything is run. I mean, I love that job. It's so relaxed, it's so easy, just everyone's really chilled, and yeah, and that's why sports therapist, I mean, like, looks good to me. It's everything I wanted in a job. Like, obviously not sat in an office all day. My next job is a sports coach. Because I played a lot of soccer back in England, I was always managed by a sports coach. We had 3 training sessions a week, and we also had games on Sundays and Saturdays on the weekend, and maybe some Monday night games, which was part of our league because I played for an academy. And I just loved how the sports coach was really good at organising, motivating, aware of people, always working together to help people succeed, always very to the point, cautious of people's strengths and weaknesses, aware of equality and diversity within sport. And I love the way that they could communicate with people very easily, because obviously you're working with people from all walks of life. Like, my centre back partner was a young black guy from I forget the country, but somewhere from Africa, basically, and he had to be very cautious of what he said, just due to like diversity, and he was very aware of that. And I really liked how he was very clever in the way that he motivated us using that. I mean, we got to travel a lot, which in a job, lots of like deviation from the norm would be good by traveling. You get to see places, you get to experience new foods, new cultures, all that sort of stuff. Like changing with a different environment is always like a challenge, but I mean, I would love to do that. I think going forward as a person, that'll help me develop my skills socially and mentally. Like, I mean, the evaluation of performance was probably one of the harder parts of being a sports coach, just because of the fact that you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and you always want to motivate people. You don't want to break people down to tears if they've had a bad game. You always want to bring out the best in people. And I feel like as a skill going forward as a sports coach, you can't go learning that particular way to make people feel like that is probably most important. Communication is huge, teamwork, leadership, all those skills are absolutely key to being a good sports coach. You've got to be really organised, and employers look for people who are organised because they know they can commit with them and they won't have any problems in the future. And being a sports coach, I mean, that would help out a lot. You get to work with all sorts of different technology, and that appeals to me because I'm really into my technology. You get to work with things like Dartfish, performance analysis programs, various like performance enhancing technology to help people succeed. And one of my idols in life is a guy called Pep Guardiola, who basically changed soccer in Europe for the better by influencing new philosophy in passing game, and created the position of false number 9, which is a striker in football who sits behind the main strikers and acts as an attacking midfield. And he was a sports coach to start with, and I see the way that he has developed into one of the best coaches in soccer in the world. And I mean, that would be a dream if I could ever get to that position. I know it would take a lot of hard work, but if I could, I mean, I don't see what could go wrong. I really enjoy that sort of aspect. You get to work with sport, which as a golfer I can see how important that is. I mean, when I was playing football, I felt so part of a team because of the sports coach. I feel like the characteristics and the personality of the sports coach make a huge difference to the way the team is as one unit. Their thoughts and feelings can change everything. If they're down, the team's down. If they're happy, the team's happy. And I just love that because, I mean, you can really perform well and really perform bad on the other hand, just depending on their personality. And we had a lot of great banter like with it all, and I would love to re-experience that, but part as the backroom staff rather than the actual player. Also, you get a lot of pressure put on you as a sports coach, and you really just want to help people participate in sport and help them reach their full potential. That is the definition of a sports coach. And if you can't do that, there's no point in being a sports coach. You can learn all this stuff, but you've got to have a certain personality to do it. And I hope that one day maybe I could pursue that as a career. My next career choice and final career choice would be a PE teacher. A PE teacher is basically responsible for the education of physical activity in elementary schools and high schools. I'd love to do that because, I mean, working with young people and trying to help them reach their full potential in physical activity and help them learn about all the stuff behind physical activity, like the muscles, bones, the physiology, the politics, the history, would just be really cool. I mean, teaching that for a living would be much more interesting to me than teaching maths or teaching English, just because I'm interested in it as a person, and it could affect me in some ways because I could learn more about myself by in enhancing my knowledge and enhancing my skills. The main things you have to do as a PE teacher is prepare lessons, mark work. And I mean, preparing lessons, you could do it in such a diverse way that no one's done before, that it could be like really, really interesting to know what to do. Like marking work and research can really enhance yourself, enhance your knowledge, and just make you a deeper person altogether, which I feel like as a PE teacher would really sit well with me. You're basically preparing pupils for qualifications and exams, which is good because you want them to do well, and as an extension of yourself, you can never have a bad student, only a bad teacher, and the teacher really makes sure that everyone works to their full potential. And as well as preparing them for qualifications, you're preparing them for life. Like if you get a good teacher, you can really change someone's life. Like I mean, I had a PE teacher in my sixth form in England when I was from 16 to 18, because I did a PE A level, and the guy was called Mr. Broom. And at first I didn't really like him. You know, he was really annoying. He was really on my back about things. He was naggy. He was like boisterous, very stressed. But then I realised that he was doing that for me. Without him, I doubt I would have been able to get my A level, just because of the fact that he pushed me to the limit. By pushing me to the limit, I learned a lot about myself, and going through a hard time, I learned a lot about my family and stuff, because I was able to work with him, get advice from him. He helped me out. He was almost like a second, like, I can't describe it without sounding weird, but he was almost like a second parent. The way he pushed me and made me get this qualification, and he prepared me for life, because you always meet like not very nice people in life, and by dealing with that guy, I know he was doing it for the right reasons, but it made me learn a lot about myself and a lot of how to learn about people, really. And that's why being a teacher really kind of appeals to me. Like, you get to work with kids, everything's changing, the environment changes all the time, you get to interact with a whole lot of people, like other professionals. Like, you can get advice off sports therapists, sports coaches, higher education, lecturers at universities, and I can see that being really, really beneficial to the way I think. You have to be a good communicator to be a PE teacher, and learning to communicate would be really, really good. I mean, with this degree in sports science, it's like a stepping stone to greater things. Without this degree, I would have to work so much more harder to be a PE teacher. But with this degree, I feel like it allows me to participate higher in the pyramid earlier in my life, and I feel that with communication and good organisation could stand me steady, could help me work well in life, you know. So yeah, that's basically why being a PE teacher would appeal to me. And personally, I've been in an environment with PE teachers during my A-levels, and it's really just chilled out, you know. They get to do all their work and stuff, but they get to play sport as well. Like, they're teaching people how to participate in physical activity and sport, and playing sport for a living by being a PE teacher. I mean, I don't know what else could be so much better, you know. You're always active. You're not sitting in an office all the time. You're working in the field basically as like not a professional athlete, but you're in the field. And being a PE teacher can lead to great things, like being a PE lecturer, or helping athletes out with their games and stuff. So yeah, that's basically why being a teacher appeals to me. So yeah, thank you for watching my video, and that's my 3 career choices. Goodbye.